Okay, so I want to say welcome to the PAC 44 Parent Orientation Meeting. We haven't gotten to do this last year due to a global pandemic you might have heard about, and I don't think that we did it the prior year, and so it's entirely possible that we've got some parents here who have been with the PAC for several years and are going to learn something new, which is certainly the goal, as well as the new parents and grandparents that are here that are going to learn a lot of new stuff. So I am recording this on Zoom, and we've got a few remote people that are quarantined due to exposure at school. So hopefully, if there's other people, den leaders, if you know there are parents that are not here, we can also distribute this and make sure everybody has an opportunity to see what's going on. All right, I'll introduce myself. My name is Men Speed. I am the one that you got 4 emails from today. I apologize for that. There were some last minute changes that I had to make sure to get the word out about, but I'll typically be sending out the weekly communication. I am the committee chair, so if things are going great, let me know, and I'll pass on the thanks. If things are not going well, let me know, and we'll see what we can do to improve. So, welcome to PAC 44. We really focus on the families having a lot of fun together. This is really about learning. It's about growth. It's about experiential, existence with your sons or grandsons. And I promise that the parents are going to learn something too, because if you guys aren't learning something, then honestly, it's a waste of your time. So we're looking for the youth and the parents to all have fun and learn. So get ready to get involved, roll up your sleeves, and help us make a really awesome year. Is the audio coming across okay on Zoom?
Yeah, you're good.
Great, thank you. Okay, so why Cub Scouting? So there's a number of things, a number of reasons why we do what we do. Get outdoors, to have fun. You know what? This will probably be a little bit easier. To get outdoors and to have fun, get away from the television, get away from the video games, get away from the screens, get away from the iPad, to interact, for your sons and grandsons, interact with kids their own age in a setting different than school, right? We learn, especially boys, learn a lot by moving and by doing, and that's what we do. Be exposed to positive role models in a safe and exciting environment, and become more confident and develop self-esteem as well as life skills. A little bit of my own personal story. I started in Cub Scouts when I was in first grade. They were just starting a brand new program then, like the year before they had just started, called the Tiger Cub program. Until then, scouting started in second grade. And I went all the way through and I got my Eagle in 1996. And now my oldest son just got his Eagle this summer. So it's come full circle. It's pretty exciting to see. And I can honestly say that many of the skills that I learned as a scout, Cub all the way through Boy Scouts, stuck with me. And stuck with me all the way through.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, what's that? Are we having issue with the Zoom meeting?
No, I think he's just not muted.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I've got virtual going on and I've got real life going on. So anyway, the skills that they learn can stay with them, stick with them, maybe even save somebody else's life or save their own life someday. And so that's why we do what we do. The purpose of Cub Scouting, we're focusing on character and encourage spiritual growth, developing habits and attitudes of good citizenship, encouraging sportsmanship and pride, strong mind and body, strengthening family relationships, fostering a sense of achievement by developing new interests and skills. The things that they do throughout the year to earn their ranks are in all of these areas of physical growth, social growth, mental growth, life skills, focusing on an understanding of where they fit in the world. And that's, there's a very definite intentionality behind the program and behind the fun that they're having. So how does it work? How many of you have had zero exposure to Cub Scouts before maybe this month? Anyone? Okay, great. So welcome. And this is how Cub Scouting works. So basically, you and your son join a scout den. A den is a group of boys in their same grade level. All right, and so here at PAC 44, we've got the Lions in kindergarten, we've got the Tigers in first grade, the Wolves in second grade, the Bears in third grade, the Webelos in fourth grade, and the Arrow of Light in fifth grade. We'll talk about that more in a minute. The den is a smaller group that's part of a larger group that's called the PAC. Pack 44 is that group of all of the dens. And the Cub Scout pack will meet monthly. So the fourth Tuesday of every month, we have what's called a pack meeting where we all come together and there's some awards, there's some skits, there's some songs. We try to do some interesting outings. And the other Tuesday nights, they'll be meeting just with their den. And in their den meetings, they work on their advancement towards their rank for the year. Any questions so far? Okay. So Lion Den is in kindergarten. This is a little less frequent. The Lions will typically meet twice a month. It's an introduction to scouting. It's an opportunity to do it. Really, it's everything is with the full family. Parents come to each of the meetings, and they get to start building up those skills and looking forward to when they become a tiger cub, or sorry, a tiger at the end of kindergarten. So in May, the end of May, everybody moves up to the next level. And so at the end of May, the Lions will get to go to Tigers, and then we go to summer camp. We do stuff as that new den. Tigers are first grade, so the boy and his parent or guardian join the den and attend all meetings and activities together. So that's important. Tigers, parents are expected to be there. That's not the case for the older boys, but for first grade, that is an expectation that the parent will be present. A lot of the activities are really geared towards parent or guardian and boy working together. And so it's important to get that expectation out there. Wolf is second grade. Bears are in third grade. Activities continue. They teach simple skills, promote interest in the world around them. The bear grade is one that the boys really look forward to a lot because that's when they get their whittling chip and they get to start using knives with appropriate supervision and training before they get to do that. And then Weeblos, now they're really becoming the oldest in the pack, fourth grade. They are Weeblo Scout. And then fifth grade, that's the transition year. Arrow of Light is the rank. That's the highest achievement a boy can earn in Cub Scouts. It's actually one of only a couple that can be worn on the Boy Scout uniform. That's actually from when I got my Arrow of Light, so you wear it on a leader uniform as well. And in February, they move from being Cub Scouts to being Boy Scouts. So we have our blue and gold banquet where the fifth graders get welcomed into a local troop. And there they can take the adventure and bring it up a notch. We have quite a few Arrow of Light boys that are going to be moving on come this next February. So there's going to be quite a few families that you see in the pack. I believe we've got about 14 fifth graders. And they are going to become Boy Scouts, and they're going to be gone come February. So it's really exciting because we've got a lot of new families that have joined. We had 17 new ones as of this morning, and while I was setting up, we had another family that said they wanted to join. So we've got a lot of new boys coming in and their families, and so we're looking to an awesome year, and we're looking to build after taking a bit of a hit last year with COVID and a number of people dropping out. We had to go virtual for a while, and a first grader sitting on Zoom at night is not a good mix, especially when they're having to do that all day for school. Any questions on dens, ranks, or anything I've said so far? All right, moving along. How is the pack organized? I know this is a bit of an eye chart for those of you in the back. I'll be sending out a link to the slides afterwards to look at, but just know that at the top of the pack is the Cub Master. So that's Curtis. Where's Curtis? Is he helping out with the games? I think he might have got sucked in to help out the game. So Curtis Arpey is our Cub Master. Then we'd be looking for an assistant Cub Master to help him out. And then beneath the Cub Master and assistants are all the den leaders. So the parents that are in charge of the kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade. Curtis's job is to make sure that all the boys have an amazing time, are safe, are learning a lot, and are able to move through and get their rank, and that the den leaders have what they need to make that happen. We are looking for a wolf den leader and an assistant wolf den leader. And then we're also looking for an assistant bear den leader. And I think we've got all the rest of those positions filled. And many of our den leaders have been with us for years and years. They do a phenomenal job. Some of them had gone through with their older boys, so they've been here for a while. All right. So the pack committee. So at the very top of the pack is the committee chair. So that's me. So Curtis and I work together. He's making sure that the den leaders and the scouts have what they need. I'm making sure that the rest of the parents that are helping to make the pack go have what they need. So treasurer, volunteer chair, our membership chair, charge of service. We've got outdoor activity chair. We've got events. We do a really great job of having a lot of learning and experiential activities throughout the year for the scouts and their whole families. But it really takes all of us to make that happen. That's when my family first joined the pack. We actually moved from another pack, and the committee chair basically did everything, and she was burnt out and she was ready to move on. In fact, the first night I was there and I handed in, our transfer paper, she's like, "Hey, we need a new committee chair. You want to do it?" I'm like, "No, I think I'd like to settle in first." And then she was gone, and I did it. So that's the last thing I want to happen to me, and for the sake of my wife. So we're really looking for everyone just taking a little bit, and that helps the whole thing move forward. And also, so for some of the types of things, like we do a lot of stuff outdoors, so we actually have an outdoor activity chair, and then we actually look for parents to run each of the events, and they actually work with the outdoor activity chair to make it happen. So like a fishing derby, or this camp out that we have coming up in a couple of weeks, or a camp out in the fall or in the spring, a different parent can take the reins on that, and the outdoor activity chair can make sure everything gets on the website, the sign-up form is put in place, the council gets notified of how many boys and families we have coming, all of that. So it takes a lot of behind-the-scenes work, but the end result is the experience and the growth and the learning that is just so worthwhile, both for the scouts as well as for us. Any questions on that? Nope. All right, so our unit's not alone. Understand, your son is in a den in their grade. Their den is in this pack for all of the grades, and this pack is in what's called a council. So the Pennsylvania Dutch Council covers all of Lancaster and Lebanon counties, and so when we have events, like when we have summer camp, when we have fundraisers, those sit within the context of the council. Now, the council is subdivided into 2 districts. It used to be 3, but with the pandemic, and this was actually the trend started before the pandemic, there was such a shrinkage of the number of youth involved that it didn't make sense to continue doing 3 councils. So they reorganized recently into 2 districts within the one council. And so we're going to have a northern district that we're part of and a southern district. And they're going to have different events. That just understand when you hear the word district, it's just basically a subdivision of the council. And then the other really, really important player in all of this, the way that scouting works, is the Boy Scouts of America don't actually sponsor an individual unit like us, like a pack or Troop 44 who also meet here. Units are sponsored by a chartering organization. And in this case, our chartering organization is St. Paul's Church. They give us the space. They give us, we've got storage inside. We have a scout room. They give us, we're here rent-free. They are involved in making sure to sign off on our, leadership and all of that. So there's actually a representative from the church who's considered our executive. And then Troy is our chartered org rep. So he's the go-between between the church and the pack and also with the troop. So that's the way that, that's the way it's organized, and that's why we're able to meet here. So we do ask, we want to be really, really respectful of St. Paul's. We want to make sure to teach the boys to be respectful, especially once we move inside. We're going to be meeting in their education classrooms, and so we're not to be touching the toys and stuff like that. And we'll reiterate that. We need to leave the rooms, cleaner than we found them, and we need to not go in parts of the church that are not designated for us, because there are other groups meeting in there. And I don't know about you, but my 3rd grader can be pretty rambunctious, and if he's running through the halls, there's a good chance there's going to be meetings interrupted, and I'm going to be hearing about it, or Troy's going to be hearing about it from the church. So let's be respectful, and we're going to be teaching our boys to be so as well. Any questions on council, districts, chartering org? All right. Scouting is a safe adventure. We really like to focus on this. You got it when you got a welcome email. There's the BSA has what's called youth protection training. This training was revamped in the early 80s. It is widely considered to be one of the best protection trainings and programs in the country among youth organizations. Obviously everyone's heard about the stuff with the lawsuit and whatnot against the BSA, and it's like 93% of those cases were pre-1975. It was before, there was youth protection training before, but they really, really looked at it from the ground up and said, how do we close every single possible loophole that we can to keep predators away and to keep our boys safe. And so after that major rework of it, it has been extremely effective. But part of its efficacy is everybody understanding the ground rules, everybody understanding the rules of engagement. So all parents are asked to complete the online youth protection training. It only takes, I think it's about an hour, but it helps you understand what to expect from your den leaders. And it also means that you know the proper way to behave and not behave whenever there's any sort of a scouting event, anything going on. Any questions? Yeah. It's great if both can, because just to be aware, there's also, as part of the program every single year, there's actually a parent protection booklet that you go through with your son, and that should be, both parents, and we go through it with our whole family, like all of the siblings, even though they've done it a whole bunch of times before, and that way just everybody understands the vocabulary, how we talk about it, how we protect. So, but the requirement is that one. And anybody going to summer camp or any other camping activities, there is a requirement that it be done, and the council will actually not let you register if you haven't completed it. So, great question. Thank you. Other questions? Okay. All right, uniform. So you'll hear about two different types of uniforms within PAC 44. There is the field uniform, which is a blue shirt. Very small picture there, but you'll see several of the boys running around. Actually, I think my son never got his on. Let's see, did he not get it on? He didn't get it on. Here we go. All right, so this is what is considered to be the field or Class A uniform. So you need to go down to the Scout store in Lancaster on Janet Avenue, pick up one of these. They'll tell you there's a couple basic badges you have to get. You have to get the International Scouting badge. You get the 44 for the shoulder. You get a council strip for the side. And that's basically it. After that, everything they get, they earn, or they get as part of an activity. Like everybody that's going camping on the 8th and the 9th, everyone that's going to the breakfast hike, they'll get a special patch for that activity. And anything that they're involved with, but especially as they go through the ranks, they get their ranks and they get to display it with pride on their uniform. The PAC provides the neckerchief and the slide and the book each year. So that comes out of the dues that you pay specifically. That's basically all the dues cover, are those three things. And then we also provide a green PAC 44 shirt, which I know Mr. Prouse is wearing one tonight, but it says PAC 44 on the front, yellow icon, and then on the back it says that as well. That is considered to be the activity uniform, or Class B. So in any of our events, we should say it, and if we don't, call us on it, we should say which uniform they should wear. So every Tuesday night, they should be wearing their Class A field uniform. If we've got like a mud run or something like that, we're not going to ask them to wear their field uniform on a mud run, or something is going to be more messy. So, or for like a hike, they'll wear their green PAC 44 Class B uniform. So besides the shirt, you're also going to want to pick up a belt, because Cub Scouts moved just a couple years ago. Actually, I think this is new since Ryan was in it. All of the achievements that they earn towards their rank actually are belt loops, and they go on their belt. So you'll want to get a Cub Scout belt, or make sure whatever else they have, they fit on, and then they're able to display, what they're learning, what they're earning. Yeah.
You might just want to mention which do and do not go on the uniform, because we are going to earn.
Yes. Thank you. Very, very good point. So in terms of what goes on the uniform, anything that they earn, anything that's an achievement that they earn, so their ranks, if they do their God in Me, that's a knot that goes here. If they invite a friend, they'll get a recruiter strip. That recruiter strip goes on. And when they get, if they're lion and they're bobcat and all the above, they will also get a number of other badges that don't specify something that they earned, but it's more something that they experienced, okay? And that goes on, one at a time, goes on the right pocket, all right? So that's basically, you swap it out. So you're wearing your summer camp badge, or you're wearing your cyber chip, as James is here, or you're wearing your fall getaway badge, but they don't get sort of plastered all over. There's one elective badge that goes in the right pocket, all of the ranks go on the left, and then there's a couple other special ones. If you Google it, you'll find 100 different sites that show you where the badges go. Thank you, Dave. That's a good point. Yeah. No, we give those to you. So if your son never got one, we'll take care of that tonight. I apologize because I know during COVID, when some people joined, we dropped the ball on some things. So, okay. All right. So we'll make sure if anyone does not have a green shirt, that they get one. I've got a question in my ear from Nicole. Yes, Nicole.
Are you able to rephrase those questions? Because we can't hear them on this.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, let me quickly repeat that.
I'm sorry.
The last question was where to get the green shirts. The answer is from the pack. That's not something you get the Scout Score. It's unique to Pack 44. The question prior to that is what badges are appropriate to show on the uniform, and the answer to that is anything that they have earned plus one elective badge that goes on the right pocket. And my video's on, so you actually see me signaling here where it goes. And I think that was all of the questions. I'll make sure to repeat them. Thank you for saying something.
Sorry.
Kyle.
Just for what it's worth, Amy bought new uniforms for the boys, and she said they were about $50 a piece all in. So,
Okay.
so you don't have sticker shock when you go do it.
Okay.
It is a commitment.
Yep. And so the comment was made that new uniforms were recently purchased at the Scout Store. They're about $50 to get everything that were needed for the setup. That's a great segue into popcorn in a minute. But the last thing I want to say on uniforms is that you're going to see two different colors. You're going to see blue like this, and you're going to see tan like this. The Webelos and Arrow of Light can wear the tan. So 4th and 5th grade wear tan. They keep that when they become a Boy Scout. But not kindergarten, because they don't, starting in 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, wear blue. You can continue to wear the blue if it fits into 4th, but usually by that time you're looking for a new uniform anyway. So once you get to 4th grade, get tan. Any other questions on uniforms? All right. So just a quick, we do a lot of camping, skills, outside fun, and everything we do for the most part is family camping. We want the parents involved. We want the siblings involved. And it's just an encouragement to get out there and make some great memories together. Sports and other activities. Scouts and sports do mix. Schedules are flexible. We're fine if boys get here late. I've got guys in the troop that are in varsity sports, and so they come and go. You don't have to view it as an either or choice, but you also need to decide as a family how much you want to take on. So just it does, and especially once you get into Boy Scouts, then you can actually start reinforcing interest in sports with merit badges. Like there's an athletics merit badge, there's a sports merit badge. There are boys that do service related to sports or other things in the community, marching band, music, etc. So they do interests dovetail together as you go forward. Hiking staff, I did just want to make a quick plug. This is actually unique to Pack 44. This is the hiking staff program we started probably about 6-7 years ago in order to encourage boys and their families to get outside and to take the initiative to go hiking. When they earn their Bobcat badge, which the Lions can't do, but every other grade, that's the first badge that they get, first rank that they get, they also receive a Pack 44 hiking staff. And on there, we keep track of how many miles they've hiked, how many nights they've camped. And as they get their rank, it gets shown on the hiking staff. And I know we've got a lot of hiking staffs that are really out of date. We're going to have a hiking staff workshop coming up so people can bring them in and we can get the stickers and get the beads and get them all caught up. But we have special upgrades. When they hit 100 miles, they go from a straight yellow cordage to this camo cord, and then when they get to 200 miles, they get a special medallion on. Then there's a 300-mile upgrade as well. So this is unique to Pack 44. The boys have a lot of fun with it. And just be aware as parents, if you get a zippered Ziploc bag with some beads in it, it goes on there. Yes. Great question. No, it is not. So we actually had been in a unit before that only counted miles if it was with the pack, which I thought was a little short-sighted because, and they didn't do a staff, they had some special custom patches they did, which were expensive, I understand. But no, there's a form on our website where you submit family hikes. And so we did a whole bunch of national parks this summer. My son's getting credit for all that. The camping beads are only nights with the pack, however. And the reason for that is families have very different definitions of what camping is. And we want to make sure that it is the boys actually out in a tent, and not in a camper somewhere or glamping or, you know, a hotel where they're cooking a hot dog outside. You know, we wanted to bring that down. So hiking, go crazy as a family, as a den, or with the whole pack. And camping, come to summer camp, come to the camp out in a couple of weeks. You know, we have a few activities through the year where they have an opportunity to earn those special metallic beads. Other questions? The question was, sorry, are the hiking miles only for stuff they do with the pack? And the answer to that is no. You can do it as a family. Kelly? Yes. Okay, we'll talk about it later. Okay, we'll go on that later. I know we've got some possible ideas for that. All right, pack communication. This is really, really important. The 5 areas of communication, although the first 4 are the key ones: email, website, calendar, the pack library, and Facebook. I'll do those one at a time. Email. We have a Pack 44 Families at Google Groups list. If you're not getting emails from me, see me afterwards and let me know what email to put on that list. That list also controls access to the pack library. So it's our Google Drive area where we've got a section just for families where you can sign up for like show and sells for popcorn, or you look at the details for the events, or you can see like the pack roster. So if you need a carpool or something like that, that's all controlled by your email on the Pack Families Google group. We have a second pack leadership Google group that controls another area just for the leaders, you know, things like, you know, the actual popcorn returns, things like the den leader handbooks and stuff like that. So if your email's not on the right Google group, then you're going to have a hard time. Make sure that's sorted out. The website, our goal is to always have every single bit of information you're going to need for an event. It's going to be on the website, as well as the sign-up form is going to be on the website. And we try to do that. If there's a piece of information missing, just let us know. We'll fix it. We'll get it on the website. So my emails are mostly going to point to pages on the website that have more details. I'll just give the highlights, deadlines, but the website's where we try to collect everything so that you don't have to go looking for an email from me, you know, on your phone to try to figure out where you're going. Calendar. So we have a Google Calendar for the whole pack, for the leadership, and really it's leadership and all parents, and then for each of the dens. So you should, and there's instructions in the parent handbook on how to subscribe to that. So you can get the updates on your phone, you can get the updates on your laptop. And then that way, if you're saying, I'm going, where's this camping trip this weekend? I don't know. You don't have to go through your email. You don't have to go on the website. You pull up your calendar and hit navigate, and you should just get right there. If you see us missing any of those, let me know, because I want to make sure that it doesn't take you guys extra time to figure out how you're doing Cub Scouts. Pack library, I mentioned, that's on Google Drive, and access is controlled by our mailing list. And then Facebook, we've got a Facebook page. Like it, follow it. We'll do some announcements there, but nothing that we're not already doing by email. All right. So if you're not on Facebook, don't worry about it. Some people really love that. Dave does an awesome job of keeping that up to date. Tim does a bunch of stuff on there. But that's sort of secondary. It also gets us out in the community. It makes people aware of what we're doing for service or what we're doing for learning or the fun we're having. And we've actually had some people that joined this year because of Facebook. So any questions on pack communication? There's a lot there. Yes. The camping trip is $15 a person. Yes, that wasn't on the website. It is now. Yes. All right. Any other questions? All right. Just a couple more quick things, and we'll wrap up. I'm sorry, this is going a little longer than 30 minutes, but they're great questions and a lot of information. Scoutbook. Everybody here, all parents need to be able to log into Scoutbook for a couple of reasons. Number one, that's how you and the den leader communicate about advancement. All right. Number two, Curtis, you want to keep them going over there? Should I send them back? We probably have 5 more minutes. They're okay here? Okay. Okay. Besides communicating with your den leader and also seeing your son's progress towards their rank, that's also where the Scout account information is stored. Scout account is their billing ledger, I guess. You know, anytime they sign up for an event, it gets debited from there. When they earn money towards their Scout account, or you pay it forward, you can put a positive amount in there. You can just log in and see your son's level of money in there. Hey, James, no, please go sit back there. Thanks. So that's why it's really important to go into Scoutbook. And one of the parts of every single year, There's some things parents have to sign off on directly, like the protection against child abuse section. That's Den leaders don't do that. That is parents and kids. Also, the God in me section. Faith is a personal family thing. The parents have to go through that and sign off on it with their kids for whatever's appropriate. You need Scout Book access to do that. Any Scout Book questions? All right, fundraising. We have one required fundraiser a year for returning scouts. That's popcorn. We're doing that right now. We've got 2 more weeks. We ask any returning scouts to do their best to do 500, which is basically one sheet. When my family first joined 7 years ago, I think we did like 7 fundraisers, some of which lost money. It was ridiculous. Every time we turned around, we were starting a new fundraiser. And so we decided just to put all of our focus on the one in the fall that was the most popular, had the best return for the kids, and just fund the year from that. As I said earlier, the PAC dues, which is essentially like $3 a month, that basically covers the handbook, the scarf, the neckerchief for the following year. But the corn maze, we're covering the cost of the scouts. We're covering 60% of the cost of the family. All of the rest of the things that they earn, the hiking staff program, our charter, our leaders, all of that stuff gets funded by popcorn. So if you have any questions on popcorn, let me know. But it's really important because if people aren't trying their best, then we've got to start making more required, and we don't want to do that. We typically have 1 or 2 other optional fundraisers that don't go to the PAC. They just do Scout account funding so that the boys can earn more towards activities and uniform, all of that. Scout account can also go to pay for gear. We have a whole list in the parent handbook of approved, they can buy a tent, they can buy a backpack, they can buy a sleeping bag, all of that stuff, hiking boots. So if they go crazy on popcorn or other fundraisers, now they're providing their own means to go through scouting, and they get to see the benefit of that directly. So let me know if you have any questions on any of that. 20% of proceeds of all of our fundraisers go into the Scout account. Your role as a parent. Number 1, have fun with your Scout. If you guys are not having fun with them, they're not going to have as much fun, and honestly, they're not going to stick with it. So have fun as they're learning. Have fun with the new experiences. Have fun if you've got water going through your tent in the middle of the night at summer camp, and learn from that fun. But it's all about the experience you guys are having together. Your son's rank requirement, understand what they need to do to get it and encourage them to do their best. Like I said, there's going to be some things each year you do with them, and you want to make sure to stay on top of that so they don't lag behind the rest of their den. Engage in the events as a whole family. Read and understand the PAC 44 parent handbook that's been sent out. That's got all this information, a lot more in it. Go on family hikes, get those beads as a family and report them on the website. Partner with your den leader, so use Scout Book in order to do that. Volunteer to help the PAC go. This is really important. We've got several positions that because of COVID and other people leaving and not being face-to-face, we've got quite a few positions open right now. I included them in my email. Come up and talk to me afterwards about it if you have any possible interest of being convinced to help out in that way. If we all just do a little bit, this thing can run like clockwork, and we've seen that happen in the past, and it is awesome to behold. Plus, you have a lot more fun when you're serving, I can tell you that. And then make sure, lastly, to participate in the popcorn fundraiser so we all helping the PAC go. There's a volunteer form. If you haven't filled it out, please do. I have to follow up with every family, make sure they filled it out, so please save me the follow-up time and just get it filled out. But more specifically, if there's a specific role that you're interested in exploring, just let me know. Fun friendships and memories, that's what we're doing. That's what we're about. Any questions? On the line or in person? Yeah. Okay. That's a great question. I'm glad you asked that. So that's something that we have discussed in the past, and we can go into more detail after, but we really try to avoid the sort of buyout option for a number of reasons. Number 1, the boys actually learn an incredible amount by just trying. Even if they don't make it to 500, by just trying, they're learning about communicating, they're learning about answering questions, looking people in the eye, shaking their hand, or giving a fist bump in times of COVID, inventory, pricing. I've seen my 3 sons go through it, and they've grown a huge amount. Also, typically, the boys start getting excited about the 40-inch TV they can earn or the Switch or whatever, and they end up doing a lot more than just what write-off, like a buyout would have done. So the policy that we've decided on as a PAC is to not do a buyout, but just ask people to do their best. And we understand about the overload. What's that? They told you the same thing? Yeah, there we go. I understand. So sorry, the question on the Zoom call was whether or not we do a buyout for the fundraiser, and the answer to that is no. Other parent questions? Yes. Absolutely. The question was, can you add funds to the Scout account? Yes. So bring in a check. We don't have digital payment online yet. We want to look into setting up a Venmo or a Cash or something like that to enable that. But right now, just bring a check in, get it to Curtis, get it to me. We'll get it to Amy, our treasurer, and she will credit the Scout account. Great question. And then you don't have to worry about every event. Just put it in. We also keep track of what's a check going in versus what's Scout account going in, because if you drop out of Scouts for whatever reason, you can get that money back that you just wrote a check and went in. The stuff that the boys earn you can't get cashed out on that. And the reason is because they're doing the fundraiser to better their they're telling people this is for helping my scouting career, and they can't take it and go buy Pokemon cards just because they drop out of Cub Scouts. So other questions? Those are great questions from parents or grandparents. Okay, a couple things I have up here. I've got to sign up with the open positions. Feel free to come peruse, ask me questions. I've got the hiking staffs. I've got some posters. If anybody has, their favorite grocery store or church or any place I would let them hang a poster about PAC 44. I've got 1 yard sign left. Curtis. I did mention that the Bobcat rank is the first thing people have to earn. I didn't go into it in detail. The question is, did I go over Bobcat at all? So unless they're a Lion, if you guys just joined this year, regardless of grade, the first thing you have to achieve is Bobcat, which is basically 7 requirements: learning the handshake, learning the oath, learning the law, learning the sign. That's the basics of Cub Scouting. Curtis, say hi. Everyone say hi, Curtis. Curtis, as I mentioned before, our Cub Master, he's in charge of helping the boys get their Bobcat. We want them to get as fast as possible so they can get their hiking staff. So as a parent, this is where we can really use your help to step in and encourage them. If they can get it all signed off, next month, then at Camp Mac at the end of October, when we have our big PAC meeting at Camp Mac, they can get their Bobcat, they can get their staff, and then they're on their way to their rank. Did I cover everything you had hoped in Bobcat?
Yeah. There's no race to get it done by next month, but you do have to get it done by March. Crossover, or they won't earn their rest. So try to get it done. You have half a year, 6 months.
And that's while they're doing other stuff for their rank anyway. So it's pretty straightforward, especially for the older boys. Other questions from parents? Okay, come take a look at the volunteer list, please. Feel free to ask me any questions. If you don't have a green shirt, if you don't have neckerchief, slide book, whatever, let us know. We're going to track all that and make sure everyone gets what they need. And let's have an awesome year of scouting. And thank you guys who joined remote. And hope that people stay safe in the midst of quarantining.
Thanks, Ben. Have a good night.
Thanks, you too.